I know, it was very close. Really, really well played there, guys. You had such a good chance.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for your company too. Always look forward to seeing you on The Chase Australia. Bye.
Tonight, the race to shut down Melbourne's new COVID outbreak. Fears 100 customers were exposed to sick dry cleaners. 13,000 Victorians told to test and isolate after visiting New South Wales. 2.5 million Sydney residents ordered to lock down at home. Avalon rejected Mickleham given the green light for a 1,000-bed quarantine station. Australians feared trapped in a high-rise disaster, a major emergency operation to find survivors. A top underbelly cop found guilty of leaking confidential information. And exclusive live coverage inside the MCG as AFL crowds return and the Saints take on the Tigers.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Blake Johnson starts now.
Good evening. Victoria's contact tracers are scrambling to shut down the latest COVID outbreak, ordering 13,000 Victorians into isolation and urgently trying to track 100 people exposed at a dry cleaners in Sandringham. The dry cleaners is at the centre of the new scare after one staff member returned from Sydney, became unwell and passed on the Delta strain to his boss.
Melbourne's going through it all again, the race on to beat the Delta variant. In hotel quarantine, Sandringham dry cleaner Henry Lee told 7 News his employee came to work unwell on Wednesday.
I find him, he looks like a flu last week. Maybe he got the trouble. So I asked him, you should go to the test straight away, Wednesday morning.
The worker tested positive. There is a suggestion he may have worked while awaiting his test result.
Look, it's possible, and it's unfortunately it's been something that's happened across this pandemic.
At the very least,
you shouldn't be turning up to any workplace with symptoms.
Mr. Lee also tested positive himself. His family has not. He insists they did everything right. Perspex shields, QR codes, masks.
I still got it. So very scared, this COVID-19, really hard to avoid.
The challenge now to track down around 100 customers there while the 2 men were infectious.
Any single case now, anywhere in Australia, has the potential to be an enormous outbreak.
I want to say sorry to everyone, my customer, my friend, because everyone you need to test and isolate 14 days. Very, very sorry about this.
The employee attended a family party in the Sydney suburb of West Hoxton, now considered a super spreader event. He flew back on a Jetstar flight Sunday night, all 126 passengers on board told to test and isolate for 14 days.
I found out via the 7 News 6 p.m. broadcast. I finished my dinner and went and got tested straight away.
He was negative, but it took 18 hours to clarify his family must isolate too.
My family isn't meant to go anywhere. And I said, but the internet, I got told otherwise last night. So you might want to maybe change that.
18 other exposure sites. Woolworths Burwood East closed for cleaning, Tier 2. 3 Forest Hill Shopping Centre stores and 2 levels, also Tier 2. So too, Coles in Oakley, the Black Rock convenience store, the 901 bus from Melbourne Airport to Broadmeadows Station, a metro train from Broadmeadows to Flinders Street and another from Flinders Street to Oakley Station. Oakley Station, one of 3 new Tier 3 sites. But at this stage, the government has no plans to change the gradual easing of restrictions, slowly bringing Melbourne back to life.
We have in place a system for the next 2 weeks that we are confident can withstand any of the challenges that the public health team have identified so far to give Victorians the certainty and the predictability that they need, particularly for the school holiday period.
Normally, Sandringham is bustling.
Oh, it's packed, absolutely packed, but not today.
The mood sombre.
More than concerned, naturally, especially as an elderly person.
I think all Victorians would think that. No one wants to go back in lockdown. We've done 4.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
The Sydney outbreak is reaching deep into this state. Jodie Lee, it's forced at least 13,000 Victorians into isolation.
Blake, they're being told to test and isolate till negative after visiting parts of New South Wales over the last 2 weeks. Those areas were green zones, but authorities are now concerned people might have been exposed to COVID-19. As of this morning, 5 local government areas of Greater Sydney, the Blue Mountains, the Central Coast, Wollongong and Shell Harbour have been declared red zones. But anyone who visited those areas over the last fortnight between the 11th of June and the 25th of June is now being advised to get tested and isolate till negative. Some 13,000 Victorians received that advice over text message. They're expected to flood testing clinics like this one tonight and over the weekend. Blake?
Thanks, Jodie. Speaking of Sydney, it is being hit hard in this outbreak with 2.5 million people ordered to stay at home. The partial lockdown for the city's eastern suburbs comes into effect at midnight, but there are fears it doesn't go far enough to contain the cluster.
Usually filled with celebrity clients, the Joe Bailey salon was today filled with deep clean teams and disinfectant after a hairdresser worked at the exclusive Double Bay outlet for 3 days while infectious and passed it on to at least 4 others. More than 900 customers were potentially exposed.
I expect more cases to be detected over the coming days.
The city's spiralling outbreak now so dangerous, a week-long local lockdown starts at midnight. 2.5 million people who live or work in the city, Woollahra, Waverley or Randwick can only leave home for essential reasons. Sydney had a new high of 22 more cases today. 4 are mystery cases. The cluster now 65.
Because this is a contagious strain, we anticipate that close to 100% of everybody in a household is likely to get the virus if one person has had positive test result.
Supermarket shelves were stripped, but their premier never once called it a lockdown.
Oh, you can use whatever word you like.
Its effectiveness will be watched closely here.
If it works in Sydney, we would love to hear the lessons of what's worked.
Some fear it will fail.
You can't wait for 3 days of consecutive 10 cases each day. That's far too late.
As Sydney shut down, Victorians headed further north, finally welcomed back into Queensland after a 1-month ban.
Very, very stressful. And when Anastasia announced it on Tuesday, I think it was, extremely excited and very relieved.
At Melbourne Airport, almost 12,000 passengers were heading to the Sunshine State, including musicians off to Byron Bay for gigs.
We booked it, cancelled it, booked it, cancelled, booked it and cancelled, booked it and cancelled it. And this week we managed to get it in.
And 50 from one family off to Noosa for a wedding tomorrow.
We're all excited because we didn't think we could go.
Others who had to change plans paid the price.
Car hire and accommodation went up by maybe 50% just in like 24 hours.
Flights just escalated. They went through the roof. So by the time we had to change them, the flights were just so expensive.
During our most recent lockdown, just 5,000 passengers a day were coming through Melbourne Airport. Yesterday, it was up to 13,000. Today, thanks to Queensland reopening, it'll be about 34,000, but still nowhere near the 100,000 a day before the pandemic.
Bit of warmth and actually spending some quality time with each other without fighting about homeschooling.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
Strict social distancing rules will be enforced as footy fans return to the MCG. Tom Brown has exclusive access inside the ground. Tom, fans will be spread out tonight.
Blake, they will, but the Saints haven't played here in about a year and there'll be 25,000 fans. They'll be happy to be back tonight. That'll be the capacity. The fans won't be sitting on the top tier, but unlike last week at GMHBA, they will be spread out throughout the ground strategically. The state government's still hopeful that we'll get 85% next week, notwithstanding these new cases at the dry cleaners that have developed in the last couple of days. Carlton forced to isolate, say, their players. They had to cancel indoor weight training this morning pending negative tests because they've been in the Greater Sydney area last week, which is an orange zone. They're hopeful those tests, as expected, will come back all negative tonight for their game tomorrow. The fixture for next week, Blake, is still outstanding. That's how complex the situation is. West Coast and Sydney expected to play in Geelong, but the AFL, I'm told a short time ago, will probably announce that tomorrow. It's dragging on, Blake.
All right, Tom, thanks for that. The Morrison government has approved a Victorian quarantine hub at Mickleham in Melbourne's north. We're being told construction starts soon and the 1,000-bed facility should be ready by the end of the year.
Joanna Gwynn flew to India to start a new life with her partner. Then came COVID.
We didn't get married.
She flew home last year. Thousands of other Australians are still waiting, as Scott Morrison writes to 3 states offering new quarantine hubs to bring them home.
It's 15 months too late, to be quite frank.
A view shared by Victoria's Health Minister, while accepting Mr Morrison's selection of the up to 1,000-bed Mickleham site near Melbourne Airport and an existing pet quarantine station, rather than Avalon.
We welcome the Commonwealth's late but welcomed arrival at this position.
And with the Toowoomba proposal rejected, the Queensland Government will now consider a new 1,000-bed option at Damascus Barracks near Brisbane Airport, though sees a problem.
It was in part ruled out, I understand, because of contamination and asbestos in the buildings.
And for WA, another 1,000 beds at either Jandakot or Perth airports.
We're very happy with this. We'll work cooperatively with the Commonwealth. We just want to crack on and get this done as soon as we can.
The federal government's offering to pay for the new hubs, but the states will have to run them, adding to existing hotel quarantine numbers, not replacing them.
Enhancing the resilience of Australia for future crises while adding to the capability in this crisis.
The new hubs plan to open in between 6 and 12 months. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Police Minister Lisa Neville has suffered a health setback, delaying her return to work until at least the middle of August. Ms Neville has revealed she spent a week in intensive care after major complications from bowel surgery. Doctors originally hoped Ms Neville would be healthy enough to return to work next week, but instead want her to rebuild her physical and mental strength. Australians could be trapped in a horrifying disaster still unfolding in the US tonight. A huge section of a high-rise building collapsed in the middle of the night. 55 apartments crumbling to the ground. 1 person is confirmed dead, 99 are unaccounted for.
Miami, 1:30 a.m. Security cameras record an engineering nightmare. A wing of this 12-storey beachside apartment complex crashes down. Seconds later, another portion crumbles. A monster cloud of debris and dust swallows 55 apartments, burying sleeping residents.
This is going to be an entire building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 to 13 stories. Most of the building is gone.
It looked like something from like 9/11, literally.
We did hear screams, but I couldn't tell where they were coming from.
Apartments seen shaking seconds before the collapse, alerting neighbours. This is what they were confronted with. The complex sliced open. What's left of these homes now teetering on the edge.
The problem is the building has literally pancaked.
Dogs and drones joining with ground crews in the frantic hunt for survivors. This boy, one of more than 30, somehow pulled to safety.
I could hear that it was a young boy. He was sticking his arm up through the rubble.
Melbourne man Joseph Wax lives nearby. He fears 2 elderly Australians he knows who've been living in the complex are among the victims.
We're pretty positive that they're there, and we're just still hoping for the best.
Beneath the carnage, firefighters drill their way in through the car park, searching for any sign of the scores unaccounted for. Beyond the rescue, investigators will confront the critical question how a tower built just 40 years ago, meant to withstand weather in the country's most hurricane-prone state, could, without any apparent reason, come crashing down. This is what the complex looked like just days ago, and this what now remains.
We have Tim Lester live at the scene. Tim, an overwhelming job there, but rescue teams are still at work hoping for a miracle.
Well, Blake, there really is a need for some miracles here now. Rescue workers working beyond the police tape just behind me. In about 2 hours from now, will have worked right round to the daylight in Miami, Florida, just hoping that in those terrible random seconds that the building came down, that some pockets were created where those who survived the fall might survive long enough for the rescue to reach them. No guarantee of that, though, and that ominous number, 99 people still unaccounted for, that number, Blake, has not moved now for many hours.
Late in the Miami night, Tim Lester, thank you. One of Victoria's most high-profile police officers has been found guilty of leaking high-level secrets. Stuart Bateson was once a top detective who caught gangland criminals. Now he faces up to a year in jail.
Stuart Bateson was one of the state's most decorated commanders, but today he was found guilty of leaking information about a secret corruption probe.
Is there anything you want to say, Mr. Bateson?
Bateson made his name for busting notorious Melbourne gangland criminals, including the wife of Carl Williams. Even inspiring a character on the television show Underbelly. The commander is accused of telling a junior female police officer he had been questioned by the anti-corruption watchdog and disclosed confidential information. It's alleged he also coached the officer before she was hauled before IBAC. Magistrate Simon Zabrowski found the top cop's evidence to be questionable. In my view, Mr. Bateson tied himself in knots. And to say I find this version unconvincing and implausible is an understatement.
Stuart Bateson was once tipped to be a potential Chief Commissioner, but now his future is uncertain as he waits to be sentenced later this year.
He remains suspended with pay. Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
Carlton fans finally have something to smile about. Jackie Felgate, it took a while, but Patrick Cripps has finally put pen to paper.
Hello, Blake. Yes, he has. We'll have the details on a mega 6-year deal coming up shortly. Plus, a forgotten magpie insists he's not done yet as the Cats keep calm and carry on. The Bulldogs are cleared for takeoff in the West, and Blake, Joe Danaher is likely to come under fire for staging from the match review. We'll have more on that in sport.
All right, Jack, see you soon. Thank you. A selfish Melbourne grandmother has stolen and spent $800 grand, almost sending a small business broke. Details are next. Plus, Andrew O'Keefe cleared why domestic violence charges were dropped. Prince Harry's money woes, what really happened when he left the Royals. Plus, how Melbourne is fighting to come back to life. The NGV open again and Frozen set to sizzle. Also coming up later, why chocolate at breakfast could be good for your health.
A Saturday night red alert game.
McDonald tipping Woody.
The rampaging Bombers are up for a big scalp.
Building some very nice momentum.
Can they knock off the ladder-leading Demons?
These two teams electric at the moment.
But tonight, are the reigning champs about to crack?
Got to get going. I've got to be bold.
Richmond take on St Kilda. Friday night footy, tonight on 7.
At The Good Guys, these hot buys must end on June 30. This Hisense TV only $895. This LG fridge only $1695. These Vivo phones only $159 each, and this Nutribullet at only $159. Pay less every day, only at The Good Guys.
Get up to 50% off everything during Bedshed's stock take sale. That's up to 50% off everything in store. Plus, get an extra 10% off this end of financial year weekend. Bedshed. No one's better in the bedroom.
A lot of people have sensitive teeth, but gum health is really important. Sensodyne, sensitivity in gum toothpaste, not only deals with sensitivity, it also maintains gum health. 2 benefits, 1 toothpaste. What a great idea.
Advanced Genifique with 7 pre- and probiotic fractions activate your skin's strength. The microbiome. Skin recovers faster, is stronger, and visibly younger. Our #1 serum. Shop online now at Lancôme.
With more than 20% protein for muscle development, Nutri-Grain is one of the highest protein cereals.
At Sunsuper, your retirement dreams aren't a promise, they're our purpose. With a history of strong long-term returns to help make your dreams possible tomorrow. Sunsuper, what dreams are made of.
Put the pedal to the metal with Optus 5G. It isn't just fast, it's the fastest 5G in Melbourne. It starts with yes.
GMHBA Health Insurance stands for a lot of things. Like great membership having big advantages, which starts with 1 month free when you join on combined cover by June 30. Join GMHBA today.
At Amcal, we're here to help you say goodbye to coughs and sore throats this winter with Codrill's new and innovative cough syrup and lozenge range. For great savings and expert advice, just ask Amcal.
TV presenter Andrew O'Keefe has had assault charges against him dismissed on mental health grounds. The 49-year-old admits spitting, slapping and kicking his former partner during an argument at her Sydney home in January. The court heard he was in the grip of a manic bipolar episode at the time.
Oh, well, of course, I agree with everything His Honour and the court said about the need to protect the community and women in particular from domestic violence.
The magistrate said Mr O'Keefe was remorseful and contrite. A grandmother has been jailed for 3 years for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the real estate agency where she worked. The Bayside business owners considered their bookkeeper a loyal friend and had no idea she was betraying them.
Behind the mask is Debbie Morga, a grandmother with her belongings in a shopping bag, about to be jailed. She kept up appearances as a trusted bookkeeper at a Sandringham real estate office. While over 3 years, the Brighton East mum stole almost $860,000 from her employer. On 211 occasions, she made transfers from the business into her own accounts, disguised in large group payments.
The obvious question is why? What caused you, a woman with so much to lose, to do this?
More than half of the stolen cash was gambled away at the pokies. She spent $40,000 on gifts for her family, $31,000 on cosmetics and $12,000 on travel.
You were stealing to give you financial freedom and to maintain a lifestyle of your choosing.
The 57-year-old didn't just rob her employers, the company directors were also her good friends. They struggled to save the business and have had to delay their own retirement. Debbie Morga told police she had nothing to show for the hundreds of thousands of dollars she stole and that she gambled to try to win back the money. Sentenced to 3 years jail, Morga could be out in just under 2. Jade Vincent, 7 News.
New research finds too many older Australians are drinking to excess. Bowls Australia and Drinkwise have teamed up for a new campaign to encourage people to go easy.
We really want to raise awareness about the importance of moderation.
An estimated 1.3 million Aussies over the age of 50 are drinking at risky levels. A fresh dispute has erupted between Prince Harry and the royal family. They're fighting over whether he was paid by the palace when he left for America, as the Duke of Sussex prepares for an awkward reunion with his brother.
During that interview, one of many extraordinary claims.
My family literally cut me off financially.
Hold up, wait a minute. Your family cut you off?
Yeah, in the first quarter of 2020.
Now a clarification of sorts from Clarence House. Prince Charles did stop paying his then 35-year-old son, but only after a payout thought to be in the millions.
He was no longer a working member of the royal family, nor was Meghan. And yet we are told by Prince Charles's office that he gave them a sum of money. They called it a substantial sum of money to help with the transition.
The palace says that happened in the middle of the year, after they stepped away from royal duties. In the Oprah interview, Harry said it was in the first quarter of 2020. Now, a spokesperson for the Sussexes says he was talking about the first quarter of Britain's financial year that begins in April. Prince Charles's office at Clarence House says the Sussexes have been, quote, very successful in becoming independent. Their deal with Netflix is thought to be worth more than $100 million. And the fallout from what's become known as Megxit continues to run deep, with another chapter due to be written next week. Harry is landing back in London to unveil a statue of his mother Diana alongside his brother.
We know that Harry and William do not get on. They've had this very public row
that remains unresolved. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Melbourne's theatre precinct and art galleries are springing back to life tonight. Melina Saris is at the NGV. Mel, it's a welcome boost just in time for school holidays.
It is, Blake. There are a number of big venues opening their doors to visitors again on the eve of the school break. There is plenty to see here at the NGV, which reopened today. They're coming out of lockdown with 5 new exhibitions, including the Melbourne Winter Masterpieces, French Impressionism from the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. It features paintings from Claude Monet and includes 79 works which have never been seen before in Australia.
It's wonderful to be reopening with an exhibition that's over 100 works. They're the best of their type. It's accessible, exciting. It's got all the things that you would want in a major exhibition. I think people are going to love it.
From tonight, you can also head back to the theatre. Disney's Frozen, the Broadway musical, is finally opening its doors after its opening night was cancelled. The audience will be at 50% capacity in line with current restrictions. They're hoping to increase to 100% from next Friday, the 2nd of July. Speaking of Frozen, we're having some wet and wintry weather. I'll be back with the forecast later in the bulletin, Blake.
Well, as they say, the cold never bothered me anyway. Thank you, Mel. Melbourne's busiest tram corridor is coming to a grinding halt. Georgia Love reports from the city.
Well, Blake, it means commuters along here will have to go for a bit of a walk for the next 2 weeks. The details are coming up.
Plus, another big change when it comes to home recycling. What sent a semi-trailer up in flames in peak hour, and why there's a rethink on what really causes neck pain.
Is it the epic grand final week?
This opportunity could change my dad's life forever.
This is what we've all been working towards.
I can literally see the finish line. I can smell it. I can feel it.
You wait until today. I will be coming out swinging.
Only 3 of you will make it to my live grand final.
Get ready to take control.
Australia, it's over to you.
Who wins? You decide.
Grand Final Week, Monday, 7:30 on 7.
Anaconda's end of financial year sale is on now. Selected sports footwear by Adidas, Asics and Nike, only $59. 30% off all outdoor clothing by Adidas and Helly Hansen. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com.
Anaconda!
Deadly means grouse. It means...
Everything's fine. It's deadly.
I love how fluid it can be.
You're saying, I really see you.
I always tell my grandkids, you know, be proud and deadly.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus combines their award-winning healthy meal delivery service with their new app to help you achieve your weight loss goals sooner.
With Light and Easy, I've lost 20 kilos in the last 5 months and Hayley's lost 8 kilos.
There was just so much variety that it just made it easy.
Fast-track your weight loss success with Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus.
It's just a lot easier at work. I'm not sore when I get home and everything's just better.
Plus, if you order today, you could win a share in $250,000. Jump online today.
When frequent heartburn kept waking me up at night, enough was enough. So I tried Nexium 24-hour.
Unlike antacids that often require multiple doses per day, Nexium 24-hour is better. Just 1 tablet a day can provide 24-hour protection. Live life less interrupted.
I think it's time for you to learn the family business. Starting with the machine that goes bing every time someone compares with Compare the Market. We've helped more than 6 million Australians look for a better deal. Simple.
Looks like members are getting free and faster deliveries with eBay Plus.
It's like the Fast and the Furious in here.
I found the Furious.
And oh, Miles has been hit!
Geez, this fire breather packs more punch than you do, Paul.
Mate, not anymore. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
A lover?
Well, a meat lover anyway.
Nothing brings people together like Domino's. Order now for the big game.
At Harvey Norman, save over $600 on the LG 65-inch OLED Smart TV. Hurry in for bonus delivery and installation on this king-size Sony Google TV. Plus bonus gift card up to $1,000 when you buy on interest-free. On now.
It's Toy Mania time again. Australia's favourite toy sale is here. Big smiles, big brands and bigger savings. Lay by now for Christmas, online and in-store. Big W. Every day's a big day.
We have some breaking news, and Victorian politicians have just been granted pay rises. From next month, state MPs will earn 2.5% more. That's around $4,500 extra a year. Premier Daniel Andrews is the big winner. His pay packet rises by more than $11,000 to $452,000. Mr Andrews will return to work on Monday after 3 months off following a nasty fall on the Mornington Peninsula. There are major road disruptions in the CBD over the school holidays. Georgia Love is on St Kilda Road. Georgia, one of Melbourne's busiest roads, will be closed for tram upgrades.
Like, this stretch of road is the busiest tram track in the world. More than 360,000 people use it every single day, but they'll have to find another way from this Sunday for 2 weeks, as 600 metres of tram tracks along St Kilda Road from South Bank Boulevard to Flinders Street are ripped up and replaced. They'll also be building larger platforms, more shelter and better disability access. But there'll be major roadblocks as they do so for the full 2 weeks of the school holidays. Traffic will be diverted through Punt Road and Kingsway, and anyone taking public transport is being told to allow an extra 15 minutes. Now, as the whole road is closed, buses can't replace trams. That means there'll be about a 5-minute walk involved in the commute as well. Now, it's not good news for an already struggling CBD. This stretch includes the National Gallery, State Theatre, Acme and Federation Square, but all the businesses in the area are remaining open, and you can still get the tram as far up as South Bank Boulevard or the train to Flinders Street. Blake.
All right, Georgia, thank you. The way we separate our waste is about to get a major shake-up. Victorian households will receive a 4th bin. It's a purple lid that's already creating controversy.
Broken glass can shatter recycling efforts.
You're actually removing broken glass from paper and cardboard, which actually makes it really hard for paper and cardboard to go through recycling processes.
It's why the state government is providing $127 million for every council to start rolling out new recycling bins. The purple bin will only be for glass bottles and jars, the red general waste and soft plastics. Yellow will hold paper and cardboard, and green food scraps and garden clippings. The city of Yarra already has purple bins, but resident Christine isn't sold.
All the recycling bins are overflowing and then the purple bins are empty. I just don't understand where they think people are going to put them.
Just how frequently the bins will be taken away will be determined by each individual council. But here in Hobson's Bay, they're taken away monthly. This Laverton plant has recycled more than 1 million tonnes of glass, turning it into sand that can be used in roads. It's hoped the 4-bin strategy will lead to many more tonnes being saved.
So we're keeping valuable materials out of landfill.
Each local council will manage the rollout date of the new bin. Estelle Greeping, 7 News.
Sydney's COVID crisis is causing chaos with witnesses in the Ben Robert Smith defamation case, some unable to travel due to border restrictions. The war veteran today denied in court claims that he punched a woman he was having an affair with.
Fighting to defend his actions on the battlefield and his honour at home. I have never hit a woman. I would never hit a woman. Ben Robert Smith claims his girlfriend was drunk and fell downstairs after an event at Parliament House in 2018. Nine's newspapers claim he later punched her at a Canberra hotel. Their barrister suggesting he'd become aggressive after her behaviour potentially exposed their affair. That is a complete fabrication. We were at the Great Hall in front of the Prime Minister and she was so intoxicated, and that's what was embarrassing. He was further pushed on his actions. You withdrew your right hand and punched her on the left temple. I have never struck any woman and certainly did not hit person 17. Person 17 is a code name for his ex-girlfriend. Mr. Robert Smith also denied he told his wife she'd lose their children if she didn't lie about being separated during his affair. The trial has been thrown into chaos because of Sydney's rapidly evolving COVID situation. Witnesses who are due to be called next week are held up by border restrictions and the citywide lockdown. Miley Hogan, 7 News.
A semi-trailer has caused a spectacular fire during morning peak hour on a US highway in Kentucky. Drivers could see the thick smoke for kilometres and felt the heat as they drove past. The blaze was caused by a mechanical fault. Incredibly, the driver escaped uninjured. but he was arrested on suspicion of drink driving. Neck pain affects most people at some point, and now there's a rethink on how to treat it. While poor posture often gets the blame, Australian researchers have discovered a new treatment approach by monitoring the brain.
Waking up with a stiff neck's a good day for Elise Bosch. The 28-year-old has been living with chronic neck and back pain for well over a decade.
There'll be days where I'm quite capable for, walking 1.5 km, and there'll be days where it potentially hurts too much and I'm lucky to just get day-to-day chores done.
Painkillers help, but she knows they're not a long-term solution, and researchers agree. They say chronic pain sufferers often have brains with structural characteristics that are different to those in a healthy individual, but they believe through exercise the damage can be reversed.
Even after reaching adulthood, the brain responds to different scenarios in life, and it's still adapting to new circumstances.
They've come up with an 8-week treatment plan, putting patients through 3 physical therapy sessions a week. It includes strengthening, motor control and aerobic exercises, but no strong pain medication. An MRI is taken of the participant's brain at the start and end of the trial to monitor any changes. Researchers strongly believe the findings of this study could change the way clinicians initially treat neck pain.
It would allow us to do one MRI scan, predict how they're going to respond to exercise, and then decide, do we go on with this type of intervention, or do we need to consider alternatives?
Giving people like Elise a shot at a pain-free life without any nasty side effects. Gertie Sperling, 7 News.
A dying dad has finally seen his son after a quarantine drama. Up next, see the touching moment they're reunited for precious time together. Plus, a deal to dump toxic soil and get the Westgate Tunnel on track, but not everyone's happy. The research that claims chocolate for breakfasts could actually be good for you. And the strawberry moon wows the world as it lights up the night sky.
Come on a food journey to find the dishes that'll warm you from the inside out. Decadent combinations.
The apple and pork classic flavor marriage.
Flavour explosions.
A modern take on one of my favourite classic dishes.
And a burger that'll make you say, Yum! New Better Homes, next up on 7.
Steeped in tradition, all the pomp, prestige and pageantry. It's the new home of Wimbledon, Stan Sport. The only place to watch every match, every court. Ad-free, live and on demand. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. The new home of Wimbledon, Stan Sport.
With ING's No Worries car insurance by your side, you can do your thing.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
Flaming sausage on the loose. Luckily, when accidents happen, Amy can help cover it. Who helps cover the challenges of the everyday arena? Amy does.
You're with Amy.
Get your Woolies worth this winter with prices dropped on 200 more products, like Woolworths Cook Chicken Drumsticks with barbecue glaze 1.4 kilograms with RSPCA approved chicken dropped to just $8.50 each.
That's why I pick Woolies.
New Chuck's antibacterial dual-action wet wipes. The textured side tackles tough grease and grime, the smooth side whisks away everyday mess, and they kill 99.99% of bacteria and germs. Find in store with Chuck's.
Spit water heaters instant heat this winter. Jetfire industrial LPG and diesel-fired heaters are fully automatic, reliable, portable, highly efficient, robust, packed with safety features, and all LP gas heaters AGA approved. For instant heat, Spit water heats. That's what it does.
The Westgate Tunnel could soon be back on track after the builders agreed on where to dump the toxic soil. A tip in Bulla, northwest of Melbourne, has been chosen as the preferred location. The local council is angry the decision was made without consulting it, but it is good news for Bacchus Marsh residents who were worried the contaminated soil was headed their way. More than 100 businesses are receiving taxpayer-funded grants to cut their power bills by installing more energy-efficient technology. Companies like the Viva Refinery in Geelong, Bega Cheese and Ingham's Chicken will get a share of the $31 million in funding.
Heating upgrades, air conditioning, improvements to refrigeration systems, better hot water heaters.
As part of the program, Melbourne Airport has announced it will ban single-use plastic by the end of the year. In some developing news, a dying father has finally been reunited with his son and daughter-in-law after a quarantine ordeal. Josh Ribberich is on the Gold Coast tonight. Josh, the reunion happened a short time ago.
It did, Blake, and we've just received some beautiful vision into the 7 newsroom of that very emotional moment between Mark Killian, his wife, and Mark's dying father, cancer-stricken father, Franz. The couple met the 80-year-old who is in his final stages of pancreatic cancer late today in a room at the Gold Coast University Hospital under very strict safety conditions. It's a much longed-for meeting that almost didn't happen. The pair flew in from LA 10 days ago, having been granted exemption from quarantine from the federal and New South Wales governments, only to be denied from entering Queensland. But they were finally given clearance yesterday. Mark told 7 News the reunion was amazing, beautiful, sad, happy and everything in between. Blake?
I bet. Josh, thank you very much. The most powerful tornado in the Czech Republic's history has devastated the country's southern border. At least 150 people were injured as the fierce storm swept through villages, destroying homes and overturning cars. Winds of up to 300 kilometres an hour were recorded, and more than 100,000 homes are still without power. One of Australia's most popular cheese brands has a new name. Coon Cheese is now called Cheer and will start appearing on supermarket shelves over the next few weeks. The company changed the name because the old word is considered offensive and has racial connotations. Now to some good news for sweet tooths. Eating chocolate might be good for your health, but depending on when you eat it. New research has found an early morning or nighttime indulgence can help burn fat and curb cravings.
Usually a recipe for weight gain, now news the sweet treat could actually do the opposite, depending on when it's consumed.
I love chocolate. I do eat it daily.
Researchers have found eating 100 grams of chocolate within an hour of waking up or going to bed could help burn fat.
It's a high-fat, high-carbohydrate ingredient, so if you're going to be consuming that, you're probably going to be burning it.
I mean, I ate a Tim Tam at about 8 a.m. this morning.
Early morning consumption could also put a stop to typical afternoon cravings.
People just having more of that discretionary food or snack food may actually decrease the need to have that later in the day.
While the majority of previous studies have focused on the health benefits of dark chocolate, this one focuses on the milk variety, the most popular choice for chocolate lovers.
We definitely get around some milk chocolate.
19 postmenopausal women took part in the 2-week study. Dietitians warn more research needs to be done and everything in moderation.
A couple of squares or a row of chocolate is perfectly fine. I'd be worried if somebody was having 100 grams for breakfast when they could be eating something really nutritious.
If it didn't make me put on weight, I'd be pretty happy.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
For hungry bears, nowhere is off limits in the search for food. A mother and her cubs wandered into the suburbs in the US state of Massachusetts. But it soon became clear Mum was more interested in a back scratch than finding a meal. Both underrated.
Girls got to eat.
A highly rated assistant has put his hand up for the vacant Collingwood coaching job. Jackie Felgate has latest with Friday Sport.
Hello, Blake. Yes, those exclusive details are next. Plus, fresh details on an out-of-contract Saint. Plus, live inside the MCG as the Saints look to derail the Tigers' top 4 charge. Also, look who's back. Mason Cox returns to address speculation on his future at Collingwood. The details on a mega show of faith from Patrick Cripps. And the Aussie great looking to make history at an incredible 8th Olympic Games.
A beautiful victim leaves a critical clue police missed. He did it. The worldwide investigation.
We'll stop when the truth comes out.
The cutting-edge CSI techniques.
Absolutely think this is a murder.
With a stunning conclusion.
He'd lied about his whereabouts.
Ross Coulthard confronts her ex-boyfriend.
It's got nothing to do with me. It has a lot to do with you.
On 7 News Spotlight, Sunday.
Super advice is like water. It should be available on tap. At Rest, we think it's only fair to give members, like Kim, simple super advice at no extra cost.
I call upon you, hear me.
Justin, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
What? I think you're on mute.
This happens every time.
You need to press.
You're on mute.
I can't even hear you.
Ah! Check out my background.
What a difference a break makes. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
The coronavirus test is free for everyone. If you have any symptoms, get tested. Payments are available to help you stay home. For testing locations, visit coronavirus.vic.gov.au. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
For tough pain relief, my go-to is Panadol Extra. Because if I don't, with my migraine headaches, I'm kind of useless in the kitchen. It's good to know you can still help out the people who need you. Together, let's rethink care.
Let me be great, let me be witty, let me be so ditty in every state and city. I'm gonna let you do a double take. I don't need your money, I don't need your credit. I'm a superwoman, I let you watch me fade.
The way I see it, you've got two options in life. Settle for what you're given, or speak up for what you deserve. Kids movies. Foxtel voice control. What will you ask for?
The fantastic sale is on now. Find a fantastic new look for your home with low prices on everything from beds and mattresses to stylish dining sets and rugs. Hurry in store or shop online. These prices won't last.
Tonight, I'll be eating extra hot flame grilled chicken with peri peri chips from Nando's. We now cross live to Ray Martin.
Tonight, I'll be eating butter chicken with a cheese and garlic naan from Miss India.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Let's play for your gold logie.
Let's not.
Welcome back. St Kilda can put a huge dent in Richmond's top 4 hopes with an upset win tonight. Returning to Tom Brown inside the MCG. Hello, Tom. The time for talk is over for the Saints.
It certainly is, Jack. Some confronting conversations in St Kilda after that shock loss and fade out against the Crows up in Cairns. That's the theme tonight, a harder edge. And a short time ago, I asked Dan Butler what this harder edge means. And you'll also hear here, I've spoken to Adam Kingsley, the highly rated Richmond assistant, about his interest in the senior Collingwood role.
It's probably just more around our effort and contest work. So you see early in the year we get smacked by 90, 100 points against some teams. We're hoping to eliminate those performances and just have a crack around the footy.
I haven't spoken to Collingwood as yet. Certainly something I'm interested in, but that'll depend on which way they want to go with their coach, and we'll play that out as it comes.
Kingsley, a major candidate for that vacant position, Jack, Nathan Buckley's old job. Meantime tonight, Jack Billings, keep an eye on him. He's had plantar fascia, which is a debilitating foot condition restricting his training. He's been battling through that. Contract talks due to ramp up with him in the next 4 weeks. Daniel Rioli relegated to the VFL, given a new role by Richmond, trying to work on his midfield form. A lot of clubs interested in Rioli. He might be the player that falls out from Richmond if they pay big money to Shai Bolton. One player tonight not falling out, though, is Patrick Cripps. He's re-signed today officially with the Blues, Jack, for 6 years and up to, I'm told tonight, $1 million a year. It's a coup for Cripps and a coup for David Teague and the Carlton Football Club. So much focus on them this weekend.
Certainly is. Thank you very much, Tom. Forgotten Magpie Mason Cox gets a chance to kickstart his stuttering career against Fremantle tomorrow. The 30-year-old says he's got plenty of good footy left, with his place at Collingwood beyond this season uncertain.
Mason Cox back in the big time and hoping a change in coach brings a change in fortune.
Just a bit of a fresh start for everyone. It's a great opportunity for banging out Robert Harvey to dip his toes into the head coaching job, and we're excited to see kind of what we can do with him.
Out of favour since round 4 and off contract. But with his future at Collingwood up in the air, the American isn't finished with footy yet.
I'll see myself playing footy for a long time, hopefully. So we'll kind of see where the cookie crumbles and go from there.
Cox is a proven finals performer. In 2018, he ripped apart Richmond in the prelim before almost helping the Magpies to a premiership. Last year, he starred in the upset elimination final win in the West.
It's a real credit to Mace. Players drop their heads at times. He hasn't at all throughout this period, and he's done extra sessions and put his hand up to play.
Captain Scott Pendlebury also didn't give up. He played most of May with a cracked rib. Last night, the Lions thrashed Geelong. Joe Danaher likely to be fined for staging. The Cats a shadow of the side that had won 6 straight.
It was a blip in what's been a fairly consistent year to this point. So it's not quite panic stations.
Brownlow medalist Lachie Neale has been cleared of a serious injury to his shoulder, while in Perth, Aaron Norton has overcome a damaged rib and will take on West Coast. But Stephen Martin's injury curse has continued. He'll miss up to a month after hurting his groin at training. Chris Stubbs, 7 News.
They might be missing a host of key stars, including Socceroo Jamie McLaren for Sunday's A-League Grand Final, but Melbourne City has no excuses, according to captain Scott Jamieson.
I'd be bullshitting if I said Stefan Kolakossi is as good as Jamie McLaren. Col will be the first to say he's not as good as Jamie McLaren. What you can do is you can have 3 players come in and play the best of their ability.
There you go. 15,000 fans are allowed into Amy Park for the clash against Sydney FC. The Melbourne Vixens grand final rematch has been cancelled after they refused to board a flight to Western Australia because 3 players were denied entry to Perth by the WA government. The 3 players visited Byron Bay last week. The Fever say they're extremely disappointed the Vixens refused to travel. This is not in the best interests of the competition and devastating for our club members, sponsors and fans, they said. 8,000 fans were scheduled to attend the match. Aaron Finch has delivered a blunt message to half a dozen Aussie stars who opted out of the tour of West Indies and Bangladesh. The Aussie white ball captain says the likes of David Warner and Pat Cummins could be overlooked for the T20 World Cup later this year.
Yeah, very realistic, yeah. Playing cricket for Australia and doing well is the ultimate, in my opinion.
Finch hopes successful eye surgery will help him return to form at the top of the order. A broken nose forced Phoenix star Devin Booker to wear a protective mask as the Clippers got on the board in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, he banks it in! It's good! Paul George at the buzzer!
27 points from Paul George helped LA to a 106-92 point win in Game 3. Australia's Tokyo Olympics team now includes 2 60-year-olds. One's a grandmother of 3 going to her 6th Games. The other, the great Andrew Hoy, who becomes one of only 10 people in history to compete at 8 Olympics.
On British show jumping's hallowed ground at Hickstead, Chris Burton's tuning up for his 3rd Games. At 39, one of the junior members of Australia's 6-person equestrian team.
It's getting very exciting now. The tension's really starting to build.
Andrew Hoy started at LA in 84, carried the flag in Atlanta 96, won 3 gold medals along the way. He missed Beijing and Rio, but still extends his Australian record to an 8th Games.
Any athlete to compete on the greatest sporting stage in the world, such as the Olympic Games, is one of the greatest honours and pleasures that they can do.
62. He's not even the oldest on the team. That's Mary Hannah, breaking her own record at 66 and Australia's first 6-time female Olympian. No matter the age, it's about winning gold. The eventing team's gone without a medal since Sydney.
In the end, it's a team of 3, and we all know Aussies dig deep in championships in particular.
Saddle up, Australia. It's Olympics number 8 for me.
As he says, he's not going for the T-shirt. Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
Oh, he certainly isn't. We wish him all the best. He is such a star. And, of course, Blake, the pre-game show tonight kicks off on 7 May at 7. It's the Tigers and the Saints live.
In the Olympics in their 60s. There's hope for us yet, Jack.
I know, age is no barrier.
Good on you, Jack. Thank you. Melina is next with the forecast. Mel, it might be a good weekend to visit an art gallery.
Yes, Blake, it's chilly with some showers. I'll have the weekend forecast live from the NGV right after the break.
Know the headlines as they break. Know the stories as they happen. With 7news.com.au, know the news now.
Simple garden problem solvers from Australia's renowned garden designers.
Turning it into a standout feature.
Better Homes, next up on 7.
The world today demands more. GWM was founded to meet this challenge, and we never settle for less. From the tough GWM Ute to our stylish range of Haval SUVs, our world-class vehicles deliver more. More technology, more safety, and more comfort for less. At GWM, we focus on meeting the needs of today and exceeding the dreams of tomorrow. And that starts with giving you more. GWM, go with more.
We're looking for 3,000 new recruits. If you like equal pay and generous leave, you're more suited than you might think to join Victoria Police. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
At E&S, we're having our massive end of financial year sale with Miele. Now save up to $500 on selected cooking appliances, like this German-made steam oven. Plus get up to 10% off Miele kitchen packages. Save $300 on this Miele washer, now only $13.99. And if you buy this washer and dryer together, you can save $600. Our consultants are Miele experts, and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 9 showrooms today or shop online and get the E&S feeling for less.
I'm off again, and I can't wait to rediscover New Zealand. Good to be back, mate. Huh? I think this calls for bubbles. Oh, I like your style, champ.
Flying now with Air New Zealand.
Ice break. Real coffee. Ice cold. Bring it on.
Advanced Genifique with 7 pre and probiotic fractions activate your skin's strength. The microbiome. Skin recovers faster, is stronger and visibly younger. Our #1 serum. Shop online now at Lancome.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry to save on quality furniture for your entire home. The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance ends Sunday. Hurry.
Get Foxtel's NBN broadband and premium TV bundle on a 12-month plan and receive your first 3 months of broadband free with lightning fast speeds plus the world's best entertainment. Offer ends June 30. Call 131 787.
Repco has big savings for your big plans this end of financial year with 25% off all engine oil, Repco branded batteries and all globes. This weekend only. Repco. It starts with the parts.
Get your woolies worth on footy favourites with weekly specials like Herbert Adams slow cooked 400 gram 2-pack, now $3.90 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Just a reminder, 7 p.m, 7 Mate, the Telstra Friday night countdown back at the G with fans, and you're doing a review, Hodgie.
I am going to look at St Kilda and why their season hasn't gone to plan so far.
And BT's walking from Punt Road to the G with Dion Prestia. Are we sure he's going to make it?
Oh, it's taken a while. He's still struggling, I think.
Jack Steele's our Friday night focus, 7 p.m, 7 Mate, the Telstra countdown.
This weather report brought to you by Illusion Gas Log Fires. Fire sale on now.
Hello again, live from the NGV, which has reopened after lockdown. This is NGV Friday night, so you can walk around and discover the exhibitions after hours with live music from local artists, DJ sets and French-inspired food and drinks. The perfect spot to spend a wintry Friday night. Showers in the city delivered almost 5 millimetres since 9 a.m. Temperature-wise, we dropped to 10 overnight and only climbed a few degrees to reach 13. Outside now, sitting on 11. If we take a look at the radar, radar. You can see those showers moving across the suburbs. The heaviest falls were at Mount Dandenong, which has had 16 millimetres. Showers are expected to continue tonight. There's also the chance of a thunderstorm and possible hail early this evening. There is a minor flood warning in place for the Kiwa River and the Murray River upstream of the Lake Hume. Taking a look at the satellite, a low pressure system will gradually move eastwards and weaken. A ridge over the Bight will cross Victoria tomorrow as a cold front develops. So we are expecting more showers tomorrow. On Sunday, showers will ease. Then we have a string of sunny days at the start of the week and some warmer temperatures. Around the nation for tomorrow, rain in Brisbane, partly cloudy in Sydney, a late shower for Hobart. But in Victoria, isolated showers continue for southern and mountain areas. They'll fall as snow on the Alps. Those showers will increase in the southwest during the evening. It'll be another cold and mostly cloudy day with south to southwesterly winds. Closer in, partly cloudy over the suburbs. Showers will ease during the afternoon and then increase late at night. Our top temperatures hovering around 12 and 13 degrees. In the city tomorrow, showers again, 8 degrees overnight before a top of 13. Those showers ease on Sunday, 15. Partly cloudy on Monday, a cold start, then a top of 15. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, 16. Partly cloudy and up to 17 on Wednesday. A shower or two on Thursday, 17 again, and a couple of showers forecast for Friday. But showers in the city tomorrow, we are heading for a top of 13 degrees, Blake.
All right, Mel, thanks for that. A supermoon known as the Strawberry Moon has glowed across the skies of Istanbul. The extraordinary sight can be spotted at the start of fruit season, marking the beginning of their summer and hence the name. That is 7 News. Thanks for making us part of your Friday. We'll have updates throughout the evening from the 7 News team. Good night.